Welcome to Into the Unknown. I'm your host, Kraken. I've been a paranormal investigator for 14 years. When my dad passed away in 2010, I began experiencing some unusual things, which led me to become an active member in the paranormal community. In 2011, I helped found the National Paranormal Society and currently serve as a senior director overseeing two departments which cover investigation research, team resources, and photography. I have led 3 local paranormal teams and currently lead NPS of Texas. From 2011 to 2014, I was involved in the filming of NPS Alone as the only female investigator on a team of 5. I have previously hosted 3 paranormal shows: Torching Hot Topics with Torch Paranormal, DNS Live with DNS Paranormal Crew, and NPS Focus, all hosted on the Para Encounters Network. The study of the paranormal is called parapsychology. During the show, we will cover ghosts and hauntings, haunted locations, aliens and UAPs, also known as UFOs and ufology, cryptozoology, demonology, ancient mysteries, and the occult. Within these areas, we focus on photography, science, health and safety, technology, and investigation research, along with team resources. Since this is a featured show on the Meet Me app, I will not be able to acknowledge your comments in real time or thank you individually for your gifts. But I will take a moment at the end of the show to say thank you and to give some shout outs. If you have questions or comments for me, please stay after the show. Please also remember to keep the comments respectful in the chat and towards myself and my guests. Those who cannot contain themselves will be escorted out of the stream. Now, if y'all are ready, let's go into the unknown. Hi, y'all. Welcome in. Kraken here. You've officially stepped into the unknown with me, your weekly featured show on the Meet Me app where things go bump in the night and the unexplained is always on the guest list. We go live every Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern, and tonight we're flipping on the flashlight and heading straight into some of the world's strangest haunted locations. My guest tonight is Cult of Cosmo. But forget the castles and cemeteries you've seen a million times. We're talking forests that whisper, rooms that vanish, and energy so thick you'll swear it's breathing. So get comfy, dim the lights, or don't, you've been warned, and grab your favorite haunted object for moral support. It's about to get weird. Now, let's take a time for our favorite segment, Paranormal News. Because while some people keep up with politics and pop stars, we're over here keeping tabs on the cursed dolls, the haunted hotels, the ancient gods making surprise cameos, and UFOs that clearly didn't get the no-fly memo. So buckle up because the world's gotten weirder again, and honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way. The historic Bruce Mansion in Brown City, Michigan, known for its Victorian architecture and haunted reputation, is now open for paranormal investigations. Detroit Paranormal Expeditions has reported numerous paranormal experiences in the mansion, including disembodied voices and shadow figures. Investigations are scheduled throughout October, offering enthusiasts a chance to explore the mansion's eerie history. Visit medium.com for more information. The 18th annual Butler Paranormal Conference is set to take place on April 26 in Glendora, Pennsylvania. Organized by the Butler Organization for Research of the Unexplained, the conference will feature experts discussing topics such as UFOs, Bigfoot, forgot to change my picture, and other unexplained phenomena. The event aims to present truthful information about paranormal activity and encourage public engagement with the unexplained. For more information on the conference, visit the erietimesnews.com. Yesterday, the historic St. Albans Sanatorium in Radford, Virginia, hosted the public paranormal conference EnigmaCon. The event featured speakers from various paranormal groups, including Beyond the Badge Paranormal, and offered attendees the chance to participate in investigations of the reportedly haunted facility. They have some public investigations coming up over the summer, so check out their website for updates from the event. Another event that took place yesterday was at Rolling Hills Asylum in East Bethany, New York, where they offered a 3-hour guided ghost hunt. Participants learned about the asylum's haunted history and had the opportunity to investigate its infamous halls. Check out the asylum's website for more about the event and to learn more about their events that are coming up in August and September. American Hauntings also organized multiple ghost hunts yesterday at various haunted locations, including Malvern Manor in Iowa and the House in Between in Mississippi. These events offered participants a chance to explore and investigate some of the most haunted sites in the Midwest. Check out their website for more information. According to PC Gamer, the popular ghost hunting game Phasmophobia launched its Cursed Hollow Easter event on April 17th. Running for approximately 3 weeks, the event introduces new seasonal content and gameplay enhancements based on the community feedback. Diario AS reported that director Christopher Landon's latest horror film, La Cita, premiered in Spain on April 11th and has garnered positive reviews. The movie follows a young widow who experiences unsettling events during a date arranged online, blending psychological horror with supernatural elements. The iconic Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California, has introduced Halfway to Heaven flashlight tours that started April 19th. These self-guided tours allow guests to explore the 160-room mansion using only flashlights, granting access to areas typically off-limits. The experience includes seasonal decorations, themed refreshments, and photo opportunities. For more information, check out Haunted Attraction Network's website. The Lord Baltimore Hotel in Maryland continues to be a hotspot for paranormal enthusiasts. Reports persist of a little girl in a cream-colored dress bouncing a red ball on the 19th floor. Guests and staff have also encountered apparitions of formally dressed individuals and experienced unexplained phenomena. Check out BaltimoreGhostTours.com for more information. Weimering Manor in Portsmouth, England, often dubbed Hampshire's most haunted house, recently garnered attention when a paranormal investigation captured the unexplained reflection of a dark-haired woman during a mirror scrying session. Some speculate a connection to June Austen, whose brother once served as warden of the church nearby. Universal Destinations and Experiences is set to debut Universal Horror Unleashed, a year-round horror attraction in Las Vegas, on August 14th of this year. The 110,000 square foot venue will feature 4 haunted houses based on iconic horror franchises, including The Exorcist Believer and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Guests can also explore themed areas like Jack's Alley, offering immersive experiences beyond traditional haunted houses. Learn more on their website. The Museo Nacional Thyssen-Bornemisza in Madrid is hosting an exhibition titled The Cult of the Thyssen-Bornemisza Collections, showcasing artworks influenced by alchemy, astrology, and spiritualism. The exhibition highlights the enduring fascination with the mystical in art history. There's a new book out on occult figures. Raphael Cormac's book, Holy Men of the Electromagnetic Age, explores the lives of 2 mysterious figures, Tara Bay and Dr. Dahish, who captivated audiences with their mystical performances in the early 20th century. The book delves into their influence on the global tradition of the occult. And archaeologists have uncovered nearly life-size frescoes in Pompeii depicting the Roman god Dionysus and initiation rites associated with his cult. These findings provide deeper insight into ancient Roman religious practices and the role of women in such rituals. According to Archaeology News Online magazine, a significant archaeological excavation in the Judean desert has revealed a massive 2,200-year-old pyramid monument dating back to the Hellenistic period. The site has yielded artifacts like papyrus scrolls, bronze coins, and weapons, shedding light on ancient civilizations in the region. And in Guatemala, researchers have discovered a painted altar near the center of ancient Maya in Tikal. This find offers new perspectives on the 1,600-year-old tensions between Tikal and the central Mexican capital of Teotihuacan. And that's your weekly dose of what in the elderworldly hell is going on now. From haunted mansions to alien flybys to ancient deities rising like it's session 2 of a supernatural drama, you heard it here first.
If you stumble across a headline that sounds like it was ripped straight from a horror movie, or you've got firsthand footage of your toaster levitating, send it my way. The stranger, the better. Until then, stay skeptical, stay spooky, and remember, if the ghosts don't get you, the headlines just might. But before we delve first into tonight's ghostly goodness, let's kick things off with a little challenge for all my haunted history buffs out there. I've got a handful of spine tingling questions lined up for tonight, each one tied to the haunted locations, legends, and strange stories we'll be expecting tonight. So if you think you know your cursed hotspots in the paranormal, jot down your answers as we go. Stick around to the end of the show to see how well you did. No Googling, just guts, ghost knowledge, and maybe a little help from the other side. So let's get into it. Tonight's trivia questions are: which famously haunted California mansion is currently offering flashlight tours for its halfway to Halloween event? What eerie phenomenon is often reported on the 19th floor of the haunted Lord Baltimore Hotel? What basic but powerful piece of ghost hunting equipment is used to capture EVPs or electronic voice phenomena? What tool is used to detect changes in electromagnetic fields, often indicating a possible presence or anomaly? In paranormal investigating, why is it important to repeat experiments and ask consistent questions? What personal investigation pet peeve of mine can ruin EVP sessions or equipment experiences? What is the nickname often given to Hoya Baciu Forest due to its strange activity and unexplained phenomena? What unusual feature sits in the center of Hoya Baciu Forest, a perfectly circular area where no vegetation grows? True or false? Cult of Cosmo has an interest in energy manipulation and realization. And our last question: what is one thing you probably didn't know about Cult of Cosmo? Pay attention throughout the show for the answers. We'll come back to these later in the show. Now, let's do a quick reset for those of you just sneaking in through the shadows. You're live on Into the Unknown, a featured show here on the Meet Me app where the strange is welcome and the haunted are always just around the corner. I'm your host, Kraken. Tonight, we've already explored the latest paranormal news from around the world and thrown down some spooky trivia challenges. And we're just getting started. Our focus tonight: haunted locations, the places where history lingers a little too long, and joining me is the incredible Cult of Cosmo. Make sure you smash that fave on me, Cult of Cosmo, and each other in the comments. Thank you for being a part of the madness tonight. I appreciate every one of you brave enough to venture into the unknown with me. Stay tuned. It's only going to get stranger from here. So, in preparation for my show, I asked my guests if they have any questions they would like for me to answer during the show. Cult of Cosmo wanted me to talk about my experiences as an investigator and see if there's any equipment I prefer to use. So I'm going to get on my ghostly soapbox tonight for a second when it comes to experiences as an investigator. As someone who's been in the field for a while now, I've seen a lot of folks jump into paranormal investigating like it's a horror movie scavenger hunt. No plan, no respect, no clue what they're doing, just vibes, a phone flashlight, and a dream. And look, I get it. This world's fascinating, mysterious, and yeah, a little addictive. But if you're going to poke around in haunted places, you owe it to yourself, and whatever might be lurking, to do it right. So if you're new to the paranormal or thinking about diving in, let me share some guidance from experience. This is what I like to refer to as my beginner's paranormal guide to investigating, Kraken style. No nonsense, no drama, just the steps to help you stay safe, stay smart, and actually capture something worthwhile. Step 1: know your why. Are you chasing proof, personal experiences, or just a thrill? That'll shape your whole approach. If you're into it to mock spirits or scare yourself silly, this may not be the field for you. The paranormal demands respect and sometimes a really solid flashlight. Step 2: keep your gear simple. No need to drain your bank account. Start with the basics: a digital voice recorder for catching EVPs, an EMF meter to track electromagnetic fluctuations, a flashlight, obviously, and your phone or a camera for documentation. Oh, and a notebook, because taking notes like a Victorian ghost journaler is both stylish and smart. Step 3: respect the space and whatever might be sharing it. Ask permission before investigating and always set boundaries. A simple "I only invite positive energy" at the start goes a long way. And no provoking. You wouldn't want someone yelling at you in your living room at 3 a.m. either. Step 4: try your hand at these basic methods. Start with an EVP session. Ask short, clear questions and give the spirits time to respond. Do a slow EMF sweep and note any weird spikes. After ruling out your microwave, of course. Take burst photos in reportedly active areas. You'd be surprised what shows up. And finally, pay attention to how you feel. The chills, the nausea, the sudden sense of being watched, yeah, that's data too. Oh, and let me take a moment to shout out my personal pet peeve. If someone's running an EVP session or an experiment with equipment, do not talk, whisper, shuffle, snack, or loudly unzip your gear bag right next to them. I don't care how ghost hungry you are, background noise is the enemy of good evidence. Step 5, learn from others. If you're serious about learning, don't go it alone. Find a local paranormal team or group and ask if you can join them on an investigation. Many are open to mentoring newbies, especially if you come with an open mind, a respectful attitude, and a willingness to observe and learn. We have a list of teams around the U.S. affiliated with the National Paranormal Society, so just ask us to help you find someone close to you. You'll pick up real techniques, safety tips, and maybe even your first spine-chilling experience. Step 6, remember, it's all about science. At the end of the day, paranormal investigating isn't just about spooky vibes or ghost stories. It's about data. It's about documentation. It's about testing and retesting, using the scientific method, forming a hypothesis, asking questions, running repeatable experiments, and looking for patterns. If we want to prove the existence of the paranormal, we've got to treat it like any other field of research, with discipline, curiosity, and a whole lot of patience. Ghost hunting isn't a game, it's an investigation. And finally, protect yourself. Cleanse after. Say a closing statement. Salt your threshold if you're feeling fancy. But above all, trust your gut. If it feels wrong, it probably is. So whether you're looking to document the afterlife or just hoping not to bring home an extra guest, start slow, stay respectful, and always, always carry extra batteries. And please don't be the person who gets scratched, screamed at, and still forgets to hit record. All right, before we bring in Cult of Cosmo, the last question he hit me with is the big question. What's your favorite piece of paranormal equipment? And listen, that's like asking a witch to pick her favorite crystal. I love them all, but some tools do just hit differently. So here's my rundown of gear I swear by in the field. First up is the Connect, mixed with my trusty SB7. Nothing gets my inner nerd more excited than watching a stick figure do a special little spectral salsa in the middle of an empty room. It maps out anomalies in real time, and when it hits, it hits. Here's a quick snippet from an investigation I did at Hill House Manor using my Connect with the SB7. Now, I'm going to give you a fair warning right now. The SB7 is a loud device, and you will definitely hear it running through the channels in this video. So if it's too loud, turn your phone down, turn your device down just a little bit. Let's take a look.
All right, we are live at Hill House Manor, and we have a friend with us tonight. And we're trying to find out what his name is. He's been talking to Frank tonight already. So we're going to give y'all a little taste of what we're doing. Can you tell us your name? Oh, the periscope's lighting up. Were you just sitting on the bench? Did you want me to sit back down with you? Did you like Frank sitting on the bench? I'll sit on one side and you sit on the other. Make it light up. You've gotten quiet. What's your name? Was it Jason? Was it Wilson? Is it Mike? Oh, it's not you now. What are you doing? Oh. Now you're gone.
You can see now why using those two pieces of equipment together make them my most addictive pieces of equipment. So, next up, and I'm going to turn it on and we're going to see what happens. Here we go, is the music box. It gives me chills every time. Y'all heard me mention it during last week's show. I'm gonna turn it off. My brother is here with us, by the way, tonight. I love using this Poltertune device. It's eerie, it's dramatic, and honestly, it deserves its own horror movie sound design credit. There's nothing quite like hearing it play when no one's around. I can't with this right now. I can't. We had it going during the pre-show. All right. So then there's my trusty digital recorder. I have 3 of these. They're little bitty. Um, they're very simple, classic, reliable. Some of my clearest and creepiest EVPs have come from this little bitty device. It's like the OG ghost translator. Then for those more quieter moments, I am a sucker, and y'all see me use these, for a pendulum. So I currently own 8 of them. These are my 2 favorites to use, the hematite and the amethyst. We talked last week about how I got obsessed with pendulums. Sometimes you don't need gadgets. You just need a good vibe and a steady hand. And a question the spirits are dying to answer. The thermal camera is another fave. Let me get a picture of it up here. So my thermal camera. Temperature anomalies don't lie. And when something cold is creeping across the room and it's not your AC unit, that's the kind of data I live for. Some folks love the FLIR, but I use a simple handheld thermal camera made by HDI. Now, when it comes to spirit communication devices, the Para-Ace Polterscript, I love it over the typical Ovilus. The old one was cool, but the Polterscript feels more intelligent. Like, it's not just spitting out fridge magnetic poetry, it's actually talking. Mix that with my SB7, and I could sit and talk to spirits for hours. Literally. And last but not least is my butterfly, my custom piece of equipment. This is made by Paranologies. It's sensitive, it's flashy, it's weirdly elegant. Basically, it's the Miss Universe of static energy detection. So, I was going to play a little video for you guys, but we kind of ran out of time. We might do that later. All right, so gear that I'm still drooling over. Some of the pieces that I want that I've been eyeballing is a tripwire EMF cable because I want to track energy movement everywhere. Okay. Next up is a task cam recorder because crisp EVP audio is my love language, and I would love to upgrade from my basic digital recorder into this. And yes, I'm obsessed with the pink Spirit Chat device. Y'all know my favorite color is pink, so don't come for me. Let me channel the dead, but make it adorable. And there you have it. Kraken's gear favorites and gadget wish list. Everyone has its moment, but they all serve the same purpose, to help us ask the right questions, gather legit data, and maybe, just maybe, prove once and for all that the other side is talking back. And now, speaking of favorites, let's bring in tonight's guest, someone I absolutely trust to talk ghost gear and probably will sass me mid-interview, Cult of Cosmo. Cosmo, please request the box if you haven't already, because after this quick show break, we're getting into your moment. Quick reset for those of you sneaking in through the shadows. You're live here on Into the Unknown, a featured show here on the Meet Me app, where strange is welcome and the haunted are always just around the corner. I'm your host, Kraken. Tonight, we've already explored the latest paranormal news from around the world. We've thrown down some spooky trivia challenges, and we're just getting started. Our focus tonight, haunted locations, the places where history lingers just a little bit too long. Also joining me is the incredible Cult of Cosmo. Make sure you smash that fave on me, on Cult of Cosmo when he gets in the box, and on each other in the comments. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's take a look at our top 3 gifters right at the moment. Give them a shout out. At number 3 is Top Badge Eddie. Number 2 is Top Badge Blake Premier. And number 1 is Fairy Godmother. Thanks, you guys. Thank you so much for those gifts. Now, we're going to get Cult of Cosmo in the box. Let me get over here. Working this OBS in the show sometimes gets to be a little bit of something. All right. We should have Cult of Cosmo. There he is.
Hello. How's
Welcome
it going?
to the show. I'm so glad to have you.
Oh, it's good to be here. It's really good to be here.
It's
I've
fun.
been thinking about this all week. I've been getting myself spiritually prepared for this. Honestly.
Good. Well, take a moment, introduce yourself to everybody. Let us know when we can find you streaming. I know you've got a lot of stuff that you've got going on, so let's talk about that.
Yes. Okay, so I am Cosmo. How you guys doing? You guys call me Cosmo for short. I am trying to get a show of my own. We play a game called Contexto, but we're making it into a little flip side of it called Context is Key, and with that we're gonna just play a different game, and we're gonna play Contexto. We're gonna have like different eliminations and things like that. It's so much fun. It is the most engaging game I think I've ever played on this app in my life. It is so much fun. So that's every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me streaming Tuesdays through Saturdays, usually in the evening, usually sometime after 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, and if you come by, we're playing Contexto. We're getting warmed up. We're getting everything ready. But I have always had an interest in the paranormal. I've done a paranormal live stream, and so this is where I want to be at. I do have an auction. I should mention that I have an auction on May 17th, and I have a couple of featured shows I'll be on here coming soon. I'm on PB and Julia's co-host on Mysteries. I love Mysteries. On Mysteries Unfold, I'm her co-host, and then I am also going to be on Cinema Scores and Melody Madness. So that'll be all this week.
Nice. You guys hit him with a fave. All right. So, as usual, when I start with my guests, as I was prepping for the show, I asked Cult of Cosmo which of these 7 areas of the paranormal was his favorite. I want you guys in the chat to guess what it is, and we're going to find out from Cosmo now. What was your answer to my question?
Which question?
To which one? Which paranormal field is your favorite? Which paranormal area is your favorite?
So, my favorite area of paranormal is it's all about for me, it's about, I don't remember the exact answer I gave, I'm just to be honest, but I like
You're
energy.
fine.
I like the idea of energy. I love, I think the best evidence you can get, the absolute best evidence you can get, you can't show it to other people, but it's the way you feel.
Yep.
It is absolutely the way you feel. Even if it strikes you out of nowhere. And I would consider myself somewhat of a sensitive, so I love energy and energy manipulation and things like that.
That's awesome.
That is what I love.
I love it. Okay, so I want to bring up some pictures. So Cosmo sent me 4 pictures and a video. So I'm going to bring up the pictures. I want you to talk us through it. Tell me when to change to the next picture of the 4, and then tell me when you're ready for the video.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, so here is your first picture. And I'm going to move it around while you're talking so everybody can see it.
Gotcha, absolutely. So this picture was taken in January in a place called Casadega, Florida. It is the most important place to me of all time. And just because it is so jam-packed with spiritual energy. What you're seeing, and you have to remember that this is Florida. It could be January, and there's not going to be any breath. We could not smoke, and I don't smoke. We could not smoke on the property or anything like that while we're doing a tour. And I'll tell you about that in a minute too. But what you're seeing in the top right-hand corner up there, unless it's mirrored for you guys, I don't know why it would be, but what you're seeing is what they describe to me as ectoplasm. Okay, and then if you look around, you'll see orbs in the distance. But this is what they call the psychic medium, or the most, what is it? The psychic, I can't remember exactly how they put it, but it's the psychic center. That's what it is. Psychic center of America. Okay.
Oh, wow.
It is not even a city. It is a community. Okay. There is a haunted hotel. They have a lot of people come and try to do, you can flip to the next one. You can see and as you see, you can see, of course, when you take pictures, you take several pictures back to back to back. That way you can debunk anything that might be something else. Okay. And it's completely gone in this one. It is completely gone in this one. I should have had timestamps on, but it's completely gone in this one. And then it reappears for a while. Go ahead to the next one.
Pull it down.
Or maybe it was just 4. We took 4 in sequence, but it does reappear for a second. You see that orb moving, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's amazing. I'll tell you a little bit about Casadega. I went there when I was in film school, right? And I went there to shoot a documentary. I was going to, shoot a documentary, learn about Casadega, and it was just something that I had a paranormal club in college.
Oh, nice.
A paranormal club in college. Yes, I was the one who found it, and they were like, "Oh, we never heard anything like this." I'm like, "Yeah, because this is another thing. Like, as far as a filmmaker, this is very good filmmaking, creative
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?" And
Absolutely.
so I went there, got tons of information at their bookstore. But when I went to their bookstore, it was interesting. It was nice. I love the way it laid out. About 15 minutes in, I could not talk straight, and I told them that. I told them. I said, I got to gather my thoughts. I can't gather my thoughts in here for some reason. You know what I mean? And they said, we love to hear that because that means that the spirits are manifesting, they're
That's
around you.
crazy.
Yeah, it's a spiritualist camp. That is what it is. It's a spiritualist camp. They're all about spiritualism. And so I'll go outside, clear my head. Fast forward a couple of weeks later, and my friend, one of my best friends in the world, he is a sensitive. I
Okay.
consider myself sensitive, but he's sensitive. Okay, he's so sensitive to the point where he really doesn't. I thought that anyone who was sensitive to that would like it. He does not like it. He does not like it. He really wants to turn it off.
Well, sometimes it gets to be
I
too
didn't tell
much.
him. It is. It's like just like with people that like to bombard you and trauma dump on you. It's the same way with spirits.
Yeah.
It's the same way with spirits. They take your energy. So I told him nothing. And I put this on everything I love. I told him nothing about what we're doing. I said, come down to Florida, come visit me. I'm in college. Come visit me. And I say I'm in college, but this was only like a few years ago, okay? So I was a late college goer, but it was only a few
It's
years
all
ago.
good. It's all good.
As you saw, it was like 2018. So I told him, come down to Florida. We'll get you down here. And I didn't tell him anything. I was like, I want you to. I think I didn't think I even told him that I want him to see something. I wanted him to be completely fresh minded. When I tell you that he had the exact same reaction as I did, I asked him, well, what do you think? He says, I'll tell you when I get outside. That's exactly what he told me. I was like, why? He's like, I can't think in here. I can't think in here.
Oh,
And that was it.
wow.
That was proof enough for me. When you do investigations, you have to do everything you can to prove it to you. You have to prove it to whatever to your audience, to whoever. You have to like just break that boundary and say, this is, come on, can you really question this? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was Castaneda, one of my first kind of investigations. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
that's crazy though. So did you only go the one
Yeah.
time?
I know I've been several times to Castaneda, and it's kind of like having an addiction because you're chasing the rush you get when you first experience it. You know what I mean? You're chasing that rush, and to be honest, at least for me, it's you're never gonna get that initial feeling
Oh no.
in one location again.
No.
Not at the same location, maybe at a different location, but not at that one location.
No. And then when you go back, like you test yourself, like, okay, like I remember that first experience, first time I went there. What's going to
Yes,
happen the second
yes,
time? And I've even been to some places where it's
right,
been extremely active the first time and I like goosebumps, like everything's
yes,
really cool. And then the second time it's like dead.
yes,
You're like,
yeah.
what did
It's
I do
like
wrong? What's
nothing.
different? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I went there and it was great. The other pictures I was going to show you, I just could not find them. I think they're on my MacBook, but was from a place in Atchison, Kansas. Okay.
Okay.
Atchison, Kansas is known as the most haunted city in Kansas.
Oh wow.
That's what it's known as. Okay. There's the Sally House is in Atchison, Kansas.
I've heard of the
And
Sally
if
House.
anybody, yes, there's the McKinter Villa, and that's where we went to. Is the McKinter Villa? I took just like you take people with you, and I think that's an important rule. You never go alone. Don't go alone. Don't risk it. Don't go
No.
alone unless it's in your own house. Don't investigate alone. I think that's just a way to open yourself up to dangers that you really don't need.
Well,
But
and
I
you
went with a
don't know
group.
what's
I
going to
went with
happen
a
that you're
group.
going to need help with, right? Like you could trip and fall over
Yes.
something too. So it's not just for
And
spiritual safety, it's for physical safety too.
for practical reasons, you want to make sure that you're going with, because if you feel like if you all of a sudden feel weak, you know what I mean,
Yep.
or anything,
Yep.
or like you said, if you just trip and fall,
Yeah.
that is a very, very real thing. So we went to McKinter Villa, and the time that I went, they said like this place is not as active as it usually is. You know what I mean? Because they do tours there all the time. They do tours there all the time. So they said that, it's not as active as it was. However, I did get some evidence. I took a picture of a window, and I took like a lot of pictures just to see,
What you
the
got?
pictures. Like
Yeah.
it was a Victorian mansion, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and we did an overnight thing, and so we took a picture. I put the picture, and there was like a glowing face looking thing in the window.
Oh,
In the
wow.
window, it wasn't there before, and it showed up in my pictures. You know what I mean?
Did it just show up in
Everything
the
else I
one, or
got,
did you capture it several times?
no, it just showed up in one picture.
Oh,
It
wow.
showed up in one picture. It was like a shiny. It looked almost like a reflection. I actually, when I saw it, because I had a digital camera. When I saw it, I went outside to see if it might have been a light, but the
You
light was kind of further
immediately
down.
started trying to debunk it. That's amazing.
Yes. I was like, wait, is this a light? This could be a light. There was lights on the inside, but it wouldn't match up. And I saw other reflections that it just wasn't the same. It just looked like, and of course, we always worry about pareidolia, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But
Yep.
it looked like a face. I can't say any other way. Most of the other evidence I got was audio evidence. And honestly, this is feedback. I don't know if you hear it,
Yeah, no,
but
it's
I hear
happening
it.
during all the featured shows, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, but in any case, I got a lot of audio evidence that to this day I have not all the way gone through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it takes a
Because I
while.
just lost track of time. Yeah, it
Yeah.
takes a while. So, but there was one that a dude said I lost my hat. Um, of course, someone was supposedly passed away in that villa. I think multiple people passed away in the villa.
Oh, wow. Lots of
So
opportunities for
it
spirits.
was very very interesting, and I love the lore of places. That's what I really like, is the lore of places. You go to a place. I'm a huge fan of ghost adventures, and what I like watching more than the hunts themselves is the history of the place, all the lore
Yes.
of the place.
Yes, that is my
You know?
favorite part of that show. Like that's what really made it for me is I remember they used to
Yeah.
spend more time at the beginning, right? Giving you the history of the
Yes.
location. Now they kind of blended in with the investigation.
Right.
Y'all, like we make fun of
Yeah.
Zach and we make fun of Aaron, like we make fun of them, but at the same
Yes.
time, like
Yes.
the entertainment, the history, the
Mhm.
all the background, the architecture of some of those places, like that's what draws you in, right? And once you get the feel for
Yes.
that, then you
Yes.
can start sensing what they're sensing too, right? Like, and it doesn't
Right.
hurt that one of my friends is their equipment tech and they're using Paranology's
Oh,
equipment.
okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me nice. I like that. I like that. And so, and that's the cool thing. That's the cool thing about, I mean, the technology of it all too. It was so interesting to me. You had Bill Chappell. You had all the people
Yes.
creating their devices and things like that. And then not only do you have that, but on top of that, you have like their like whole crew of what do you call, like special guests. All
Yep.
right, I
Yep.
have seen every episode of Ghost Adventures except for one. There's one I just won't watch because they had like rock stars, like old rock stars in it. I was like, I'm not
Ah,
interested
I
in
feel like
that.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Have you seen the latest one? Have you seen the latest one?
Yes,
I
the
just watched it.
seance.
Well, no, the one I'm talking about is the one at the Poltergeist house. It's like an hour and a half long.
Yes, yes. That was the first one of this season, and then the next one was the seance. I just watched that just a minute ago. They went back to the Winchester Mystery House, and unfortunately, they won't mention their past visit because of Deb and what's his name,
Yeah.
Constantine.
Yeah.
They won't mention it. Oh, you
Unfortunately.
can't even find that episode on, which is sad, and it's sad. I really wish they would, give them their props,
Well, and we
but
want to see more of them. I mean, it's sad what happened, but we still have to respect them
yeah.
as investigators in the field too.
Right, right. Because I truly, in my heart, and it's hard to believe, but I truly believe in my heart that their communication like that, because they seem like a power couple. Now,
Oh
that's just
yeah.
TV. We don't know what's going on, but they seem like a power couple. They seem like they were just cool.
Yeah.
I remember one episode where the husband changed like that. So I think it had something to do with that.
Well, and I
I
think there was a
predicted.
lot going on because of where they had been and some of the things. I think they probably had brought home an attachment that caused a lot of the issues
Yes,
that happened there. So you guys, it
yes,
goes back to the whole thing that we keep saying. you have to protect yourself when you
Yeah.
go. Like, even those
Protect
people that have
yourself.
been in the field longer than us that know how to protect themselves,
Yeah.
things still happen. Like, this isn't something that you're going to be like, hey, I'm watching Ghost Adventures, I'm going to go out and do this too. No.
Right. Nope.
Talk to somebody that knows
Nope.
what they're doing. I mean, we've
Nope.
got Mikey in the chat. He's an
Yeah.
experienced paranormal investigator. He's got an attachment right now that we're
Nice.
trying to work on too.
Yes.
So you guys, like, this isn't just fun and
It
games. Like I
happens.
said, like, things do happen. You do need people around you.
Mm.
Cosmo even said earlier, never go alone. Like, this is some serious business, y'all.
Yes. Yes, it is. So I had a video.
Yep.
Okay.
Are you ready for it?
Now, the video, yes, I'm ready for it. The video that I have, I'll set it up for you while you get it up. I didn't mean for that to sound like that. But the video I have, this is actually, I was trying my best to do a ghost hunting live stream right here on Meet Me, okay? And unfortunately, in the area that I started out in, cool, great reception and all that. But as we ventured deeper into, it was at the Missouri State Penitentiary.
Okay.
And as we ventured deeper into the penitentiary, I lost all internet signal. Okay. So I could not go live. Okay. But
that was on purpose.
Nevertheless, and people still remember that. People, right. People still remember that. Okay. And I am not just saying this to say it, but there's a point in, because I watched on my way there. I shouldn't have been doing this, but as I was driving there, I had Ghost Adventures playing in the background, okay, for that episode.
You're getting psyched, right? Like, you're getting ready for your location.
Getting in the mood. And also like seeing different places that they might have experienced things.
Right.
And I did not like notice this at first. You'll hear me say in this video, it's like I was just getting sad. This is the same area that whenever Zach is doing his investigation, he gets sad. You know what I mean? It's the same exact area. So I want, if you would, play the video first. Okay. And I know people might need to be pointed out to what to hear, but you'll see it on the screen as well. But this is at the Missouri State Penitentiary.
Here we go. And I'm going to move it down a little bit so everybody can see it too.
All right.
Oh, actually, y'all can see it pretty good.
Yes.
All right. Where's my sound?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear anything on it? We may have to replay it. Let me check something on
Yes,
OBS.
Real quick. It is. And I had never been to a prison before. Like, never. So
right,
that itself. Over there?
There we go.
Okay.
We got the different stuff.
I'm going to check that out. What? Okay. All right. So
do you want me to replay it again so everybody can see it?
Yes, replay it one time. But listen to right after I say, I'm going to go check that out. And you'll hear a scream you'll hear a scream, okay? And if you would play it one more time, then I'll mimic the scream so the people.
All right, hang on, let me get it. There it goes.
Yeah.
I got it right now. Like I feel like it's kind of going away.
Yeah.
But it was so sad. It's just I don't understand it. I was so sad when I walked in there.
Right below is a thing, Pretty Boy and was it Earl Ray?
Yeah. Over there?
On the bottom.
On the bottom. Okay.
We got the different stuff.
I'm gonna check that out. What?
So did you hear it?
That's creepy. You guys, that static in the background again is the SB7 spirit box. It does make a lot of noise, so you guys have to really pay attention when it goes off. But set it up.
Yeah, so what it was is, and you hear like right after I say, I'm gonna check this out. It was like, and so here it is. We were there. We were honestly just told that, try to be quiet during this section, you know what I mean? Because I think there were still people using the building for other things. I don't know what honestly, our tour guide was kind of a munch. I have no idea what she was on, but I can imagine like doing these tours night after night and all that stuff, maybe it gets a tour. But she was like, but she was just kind of adamant about us being quiet. And so we were. That's why we were kind of using hushed tones. And there's no way, right? There's no way, absolutely no way that we hear that scream and don't react. I heard it clearly.
Yeah, you definitely have to react.
I heard it clearly. Yeah, and you would react to that. You're like, "Who is screaming?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so and it felt like it was down the hall. Exactly, Love. It felt like it was in the distance. That's probably to date one of my best or favorite, at least, pieces of audio evidence
That's
that
awesome.
I've ever captured
It makes you want to go
because
back,
it's just
right?
so
It makes
clear.
you want to go back, see if you can
Yes,
capture it again. And it makes you
yes,
want to say, you know what?
yes.
Forget this tour. Can I rent the place out for the night and do it on my own and not have anybody
Right,
else
right,
here?
right.
That
And
part.
because I would love to just spend the night there. I would love to spend the night there, not alone.
No,
For sure, it's
no,
too big.
I'll come with you.
But I
I'll
would
hold your
love to
hand.
spend the night there. Yes, absolutely. We got to make this happen. But I'll tell you, my interest in the paranormal, and it came at sort of a young age. I used to be terrified. I used to, when the internet was in its Wild West days, and we were looking at things that we should not have been looking at, on those different websites, and that's how we got so desensitized. I came across paranormal pictures. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
was my first introduction, and I was terrified. I could not get this image out of my head, and I don't even know if it was real. In hindsight, I don't even know if it was real. There was one that stuck out of my mind too. Was at Tombstone, and there's a cowboy kind of near a grave. So it's one of the more famous pictures. You know what I mean? And then there's of course that one fake picture that's being debunked about like someone falling from the ceiling while the family's having dinner. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
So the interest was there. My very first episode of Ghost Adventures that I watched, it was not even an episode. It was their documentary.
Yes. Well, that was
It
how they
terrified me.
started. And that like it gave you the
Yes.
creeps, but you know what it left us with? Wanting more. Wanting more because we kept watching every
Yes.
time they came
More.
out because we were like, we need to see more. And then that's when the show
Yes.
came out. Like that documentary, I still think to
Mhm.
date is my favorite.
Yes.
Right? And it's still like it's
Yes.
still fun to watch
Yes.
and get like the spine tingling chills and stuff. Like you
Right.
guys, y'all
Right.
not Ghost Adventures, but we still love it.
Right. And I'll tell you, like that was before that they were very respectful. You
Yeah.
remember Zach was kind of he was rude.
He
You
was
know
a
what I
little
mean? And he
arrogant.
wasn't
Yeah.
respectful.
Arrogant
Yeah,
and
I
cocky
remember
back
him
then.
going. Yes, and he still is like I've heard he's like a whole different kind of being. I've
He's a
heard
whole
like
mess.
him versus Aaron are kind of like polar opposites, even though they're best friends. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
you
hear they're
almost have to
polar
be.
opposite.
Like you almost have to be on the team, right? Like you want
Yes.
somebody that's a little because you got I remember and I miss it now because I don't notice it as much, but I remember when Aaron would
Mhm.
freak out and run from stuff, right? In the very
Yes.
beginning. And now he's just
Yes.
like, okay, I'm gonna like it used to be, all right, Aaron,
Right.
you're going in the basement by yourself. No,
Right.
no, no. Now he's like,
No.
okay.
All
Like,
right. And then kind of like after a while, Billy was the person that they would send in there,
yes,
you
they
know
would
what I
pick
mean?
on him. There's
Uh,
always somebody.
Yeah, And it's always like Jane was at Nerve Center, but like that was my introduction to it. And like I said, I have legitimately watched every episode, and
I
that's
love
where my
them.
interest comes in.
I
I have
love
had
them.
experiences that I can't explain. That I remember when I was a kid. One time there was a white dressed thing, like between me and my sister. We had this really long bed as a kid that me and my sister could sleep on. You know what I mean? So she'd sleep on that end, I sleep on this end, and in between us, I remember waking up, opening my eyes, and seeing. I thought it was her, but in retrospect, I was like, that couldn't have been her. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
wow.
And she was just standing there, and I said audibly, I said, "Go to sleep, Keisha." And I closed my eyes. Didn't know if she went back to sleep or not. You know what I mean? But she was just standing in the middle of the bed in between us.
You're like, this
It
isn't
was in my
happening.
old.
You got to go. You're not welcome
Yeah.
here. You got to go.
Right. You got to go. But I mean, it's an amazing journey. Absolutely amazing journey.
I love it. I'm so glad I got to
and-
meet you. Like I
Yeah.
started my show. It'll be 2 years old in July, and I've had a hard time finding
Nice.
people that get into it like I do. I left and took a break for a couple of months,
Yes.
and since I've been back,
Yes.
like all the paranormal people are like, "Ooh, Kraken's back," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, I got paranormal friends out here!" Like I'm so excited about it. All right, so we've got just a few minutes
Yeah.
left in the show. You got to come back on
Okay.
again. You have to come back on again. Lex, we
Absolutely.
got to make it happen because
Absolutely.
I could talk to you forever about this, but we need to wrap up so we can wrap
Absolutely.
up the show too. So tell everybody again. I want everybody to listen when you're going to find Cosmo. Take it away.
Okay. So every Thursday, I'm gonna start with Thursdays now. Every Thursday, you'll catch me on PB and Julia's stream. I am her co-host
I love
for
it.
Mysteries Unsolved. And just a quick blurb about that. We talked about Chris Watts, and I wanted to tell you this specifically. I have watched some of the raw footage of the K9 units going through the house and all that. There are EVPs in that video.
Okay, I gotta go watch it.
There are EVPs. Check that out. And I'm going to actually, I'm going to like analyze the entire video. It's like about 40 some odd minutes long. But we talked about Chris West. This time we are actually talking about the Ghost Adventures thing. As everybody might know, may or might not know, but we're talking about Aaron's kind of debacle with his ex-wife now. So that's what we'll be talking about this week. So come and check that out.
I'll be there.
Every Saturday, 3 p.m. Every Saturday, I don't know where I got 3 from. Every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm doing Context is Key. If you want to play a really fun game, come and see me. Come and see me. It's so much fun. After that, I have an auction on May 17th. I am going to be on Cinema Scores this week. I'm going to be on Melody's Madness, Vampy's Melody Madness, and you'll find me there. Every day after 5, between Tuesday and Saturday, come play Contexta with me. It's such a fun game. It'll get my chat going. You'll see it like just booming and just people guessing words. It's so much fun.
That's awesome.
That is where you can find me.
And every once in a while, you might find him dabbling in the paranormal in his stream. Just saying.
Absolutely. I'm going to do another live paranormal stream.
You let me know when you do it. You let me know when you do it.
I sure will.
I want to be there for that for sure.
Will.
All right, y'all make sure and fave Cosmo. Y'all pay attention to where he's going to be this week. Y'all will see me with everybody on Thursday nights. I've got to make sure I've got to start coming in there. I got to do it. Cosmo, thanks for being in the box. Thanks for being on the show. Definitely, I want to have you on again. And I think we're going to do a special segment, and we're just going to sit here and talk all ghost the whole entire show. I think that's what I want to do. So we will do that.
That sounds good.
We'll do that. Thank you so much for being on.
Have a great night.
Have a good one. For those of you just joining us, this is Into the Unknown, a featured show here on the Meet Me app, obviously about the paranormal, and I'm your host, Kraken. We just wrapped up visiting with my guest, Cult of Cosmo, and before that, we covered paranormal news around the world, tonight's trivia questions, and the questions Cosmo had for me before the show. So please be sure and fave me. Make sure you fave Cosmo. Fave each other in the comments. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I appreciate the support. We are almost done with the show. We're probably going to push the time limit tonight, and that's okay. That's all right. Let's take a look at the top 3 gifters right now before we head into the main segment. We have at number 3, Nighthawk, number 2, Fairy Godmother, and number 1 is my good friend, ya boy. Thank you guys for those gifts. Make sure you're faving all of them. Fairy Godmother is also a featured show host here on the app, and ya boy is as well. So fave both of them and go check out their shows. Now, let's take a quick little turn over into our haunted locations segment and get this thing rolling. All right. Tonight, our paranormal segment is focusing on haunted locations. Deep in the heart of Transylvania, yes, that Transylvania, lies a forest unlike any other. A place where the trees twist as if recoiling in fear, where technology fails without reason, and where some who enter never quite come back the same. This isn't your average haunted house or dusty graveyard. This is Hoia Baciu Forest, also known as the most haunted forest in the world. Tonight, we're stepping off the path and into the woods to uncover the eerie legends, spine-tingling encounters, and mysterious disappearances that have earned Hoia Baciu its terrifying reputation. So, unzip your jacket, grab a flashlight, and try not to lose your way, because once the forest finds you, it rarely lets go. The legend begins with a shepherd who vanished into the forest with his flock of 200 sheep. Neither the shepherd nor the sheep were ever seen again. No bones, no wool, no trace, just gone. Locals began referring to the area as Hoia Baciu, named after the man himself. For generations, the forest has been shrouded in fear. Even today, many Romanian locals refuse to enter, claiming it's cursed or home to malevolent spirits. But it wasn't until 1968 that this man right here, the forest gained international attention because of him. This is military technician Emil Barnia. While hiking with friends, Barnia captured a photo of a silver disc object, right here, hovering above the trees. The image went public and made waves across the world. Ever since, Hoia Baciu has become ground zero for ghost hunters, UFO chasers, and the bravest of thrill seekers. Let's talk about what people experience inside the forest. And it's not just creepy vibes. They see glowing orbs, light anomalies, have been reported by witnesses stating that they have seen these floating orbs of light, sometimes white, other times green and orange. They're not just seen by the naked eye. Many appear in photos or video footage even when not visible in real time. Reports of apparitions and shadow people have also been made. Full body spirits are often seen wandering between those trees. Some appear translucent and human like, others, darker figures with no distinct features, watching silently from a distance. There's a sense of disorientation and missing time reported by folks. Many visitors describe sudden feelings of dizziness, nausea, and anxiety. Even more unsettling, some have reported losing track of time. What felt like minutes turned into hours. Phones and watches stopped working. Compass needles spin without cause. And then let's go back to this picture. There's this clearing, or the dead zone. One of the most unnerving spots is a perfectly circular clearing in the heart of the forest where no vegetation grows. No trees, no underbrush, not even moss. Soil tests have shown nothing out of the ordinary, yet the area remains completely barren. Some call it a portal, others a trap. Investigators have set up cameras there and caught strange, static, unexplained lights and figures entering and vanishing from frame. I found a few eyewitness reports I want to share with you. A tourist claimed she was pushed to the ground by unseen hands and emerged from the forest with burn marks on her arms. A paranormal team once lost radio contact with one of their investigators for over 2 hours, only for him to reappear disoriented with no memory of what happened. In 2001, a local man disappeared in the forest for 5 days. When he was found, he thought only a few hours had passed. His clothes were intact but turned inside out, and his watch had melted. He hasn't spoken a word since. So, what is going on here? Let's look at a few theories. One theory is the UFO portal theory. Since the 1968 UFO sighting, some believe Hoia Baciu is a dimensional hotspot, a place where alien crafts travel in and out of our reality. The lights, missing time, and energy fluctuations all support this theory. Another theory involves ley lines and energy vortexes. Paranormal researchers suggest that Hoia Baciu may sit on powerful ley lines, natural currents of Earth's energy. This could create electromagnetic disturbances, fueling both ghost sightings and strange phenomena. Then there's the theory of residual versus intelligent haunting. Are we witnessing repeated energy from a tragic past, or are there conscious entities at play? Many claim intelligent responses to EVP sessions and ghost hunting tools. And the last theory is the government cover-up theory. Whispers of underground experiments, energy field testing, and radiation exposure have swirled for years. Some locals claim the government knows more than they're saying, and that parts of the forest have been deliberately concealed or altered. Hoia Baciu has also made several spooky cameos. Did you know, speaking of all shows, it was featured in an episode of Ghost Adventures, Destination Truth, and various European paranormal documentaries. It's been called the Bermuda Triangle of Romania and ranked as one of the most terrifying forests in the world. And paranormal influencers and YouTubers who visited often describe it as the most disturbing place they have ever investigated. Would you dare to step foot in the infamous Hoia Baciu forest? Would you walk into the barren clearing alone, or trust your instincts and turn back at the edge of the trees? Have you ever visited a place that felt off, that watched you back? I want to hear your stories. Send me your paranormal encounters, eerie experiences, or personal theories. Your tale could be featured in a future episode. And if you're listening in the dark right now, maybe flip on a light just in case. So, whether Hoia Baciu Forest is a spiritual hotspot, an alien getaway, or something far stranger than we can comprehend, one thing is clear. It's not just a place, it's a presence. The trees remember, the silence speaks, and if you listen closely, you might hear the forest whisper your name. Maybe the forest isn't haunted in the traditional sense. Maybe it's just something older, something alive, and once it knows you, you're never truly alone again. Now, let's get into our trivia question answers, and let's see if you were paying attention during tonight's show of terror. Grab your EMF meters, sharpen those six senses, and get ready to go head to head with tonight's trivia questions. Now, number 1. Which famously haunted California mansion is currently offering flashlight tours for its halfway to Halloween event? That would be the Winchester Mystery House. What eerie phenomenon is often reported on the 19th floor of the haunted Lord Baltimore Hotel? That would be the ghost of a little girl in a cream-colored dress bouncing a red ball. Number 3, what basic, powerful piece of ghost hunting equipment is used to capture EVPs or electronic voice phenomena? That would be the digital recorder. Number 4, what tool is used to detect changes in electromagnetic fields, often indicating a possible presence or anomaly? That would be the EMF meter. Number 5, in paranormal investigating, why is it important to repeat experiments and ask consistent questions? To follow the scientific method and validate findings. Number 6, what personal investigation pet peeve of mine can ruin EVP sessions or equipment experiences? That would be people talking, making noise, or snacking during sessions. Number 7, what is the nickname often given to Hoia Baciu Forest due to its strange activity and unexplained phenomena? That would be the Bermuda Triangle of Romania. Number 8, what unusual feature sits in the center of Hoia Baciu Forest, a perfectly circular area where no vegetation grows? That would be the clearing, which is also known as the dead zone. Number 9, true or false? Cult of Cosmo has an interest in energy manipulation and realization. That would be true. What is one thing you probably didn't know about Cult of Cosmo? And we didn't get to talk about it, but he's actually encountered a UFO. So, did y'all get any of these answers right? Were y'all paying attention? For those of you just tuning in at the witching hour, this is Into the Unknown, a featured show right here on the Meet Me app where we chase shadows, question the unexplained, and occasionally rattle a few cages. I'm your host, Kraken. Tonight we explored the world of haunted locations and had the incredible Cult of Cosmo join me for the journey. If you haven't already, smash that fave button on me. Make sure you fave Cosmo. Make sure you favorite each other in the comments, and make sure you favorite all of my gifters. You never know when you might want backup in the dark. Massive thanks to everyone who tuned in tonight, and huge appreciation for all the gifts that were sent. I want to give a special shout out to my show bouncers for keeping the chat respectful, curious, and just the right amount of spooky. Be sure and fave them too. They're the real MVPs of the underworld tonight. And speaking of the MVPs, let's see who the top 3 gifters were at the end of the show tonight. Coming in at number 3 is Nighthawk. Coming in at number 2 is Fairy Godmother. And coming in at number 1 is DJ Ya Boy. Make sure you hit them all with a fave. So, if you'd like to join me on a future episode of Into the Unknown and you've got ghost stories, wild theories, or just a fearless curiosity, you know what to do. Message me on Instagram or get a hold of Lugs and let's make that happen. That's a wrap on tonight's expedition. We went a little bit longer, but we went from haunted houses and ghost-ridden hotels to news stories that prove the paranormal is alive and well all over the world. Whether you came for the folklore, the freakouts, or just to flex your spooky trivia skills, I hope tonight's journey left you curious, creeped out, and maybe even question reality, just a little. If you've had your own haunted encounter or stumbled onto a location that gave you goosebumps for all the wrong reasons, I want to hear about it. Your story could be part of a future episode. Join me next week as we dive into demonology, and my guest will be Rocker Rebel. Until next time, keep your sage handy, your salt line thick, and if a disembodied voice tells you to get out, maybe don't argue with it. Thanks for now. Thanks for venturing into the unknown with me. Keep your senses sharp, your flashlight close, and your curiosity wide open. Sleep tight, dream strange, and remember, when the shadows whisper, Kraken's already listening. Stay tuned for the after show. Thank you for daring to come into the unknown with me tonight. I really appreciate your gifts, but what means the most to me is your being here and showing your support. If you would like to be on the show, send me a message on IG. The link is in my bio. Please stay for the after show segment as I spend the next 30 minutes continuing to talk about what we covered in the show and answering any questions you may have regarding the paranormal field. I hope to see you all again next Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern, where we will go back into the unknown. Have a great night and enjoy your week.